Nothing like some homemade lasagna. Nothing like that store-bought stuff. Wouldn't be caught with that. What do you mean the box was in frame? Okay, so we're going to be working on category 1. So the first page should go relatively quickly. It's just a bunch of words. So let's go ahead and start weathering the whole page. This page is going to be a little bit different because there's a lot of greenish hues on that left side of that page. And it's going to have a lot more texture going on compared to the other entries. I hope the heat doesn't affect the epoxy on the other side. It looks okay. Let's hope not. And then I did forget to add in my guidelines beforehand, so I'm just going to add them now. So the damage on this page is quite heavy, so I am going to have to do multiple layers to get a nice texture design that I like. And because I don't want any of that red to accidentally bleed over, I'm going to do this part with just a little bit of gouache, instead of using that Sharpie method. So for this page, I'm going to be using the brush pen for the title, because it seems like he's cataloging all these ghosts, so he seems a little more in his right mind, opposed to that previous page where it seems like he just first encountered everything. That page looks all sorts of moldy. I'm really liking how it came out. And then it looks like every ghost page is going to have some blacklight in it, so let's go ahead and write out that message. Not really much to say on this page. I like how the texture came out, and hopefully I can match that on the other side as well. I got all my guidelines down, and now I can go ahead and start weathering the page. And I'm going to try to do something very similar, and I'm just going to try to match that previous page. So this page is a little bit different than all the other pages. For some reason, this page isn't absorbing the gouache or water properly. Usually all the gouache paint stays in one contained area, but for some reason this one seems to be spreading out. So I'm having a much harder time on this page, and I almost gave up on this one actually. Not because the drawing is difficult, but the page was being difficult with me, if that makes any sense. This page is genuinely frustrating me because nothing is staying in place. I'm going to give it a little more time before giving up on it, so we'll see. That right there, see how it's all spreading around? It doesn't normally do that, and I'm about to throw this book at the wall. I'm not looking forward to the acrylic. I think it's going to do the same thing. I can already see it. I'm going to be really surprised if I can somehow pull it off. Somehow managed to get some decent colors down. Hopefully the outlines will kind of fix this whole thing, because I have a lot of ink that's spilled outside the lines. Even though it gave me a really hard time, the page is not too bad. Could have been a little bit better? Yeah, but that can be said for any of the drawings. But at least we were able to persevere in this page. And then all the black light should go in relatively easy. I don't see the paper being slightly different affecting how this comes out. So I got this question here, and this is not the first time I've been asked this question about how I'm writing inside this journal. So supposedly the smarter you are, the more messy your handwriting. So I'm keeping that into account. So when writing, you can have all the letters really visible and really nice. However, in my journal, I am smudging it and kind of making it a little bit messier on purpose, because Ford is mostly doing this out in the field, so I feel like he doesn't have quite as much time to write it out really nicely. And so here's a good example right here. Hello, my name. The letters are really messy and really difficult to read, opposed to writing it out really nicely. But this all comes down to what type of project you're trying to produce. Personally, I recommend that you write everything nicely, especially if you want other people to read it, because in my case, my journal is extremely difficult to read, unless you already know context. So hopefully that helps you out in your project.